Is joining, guys. Yeah, Sai is joined. Hi, Sai. You are mute.
Mutish, can you please confirm if we could able to
Yes.
see
We
my
are.
slide?
Yes, your slide is.
Okay. So, do we have any new participants apart from? Fine. Welcome again, everyone. My name is Sai. So it's been my pleasure talking to you all with respect to the first demo class of cybersecurity with the UpShik Academy. Before proceeding further, I would like to introduce about myself. My name is Sai. I work for one of the US Fortune top 20 companies. I'm a certified ethical hacker. I'm a CISSP, which has been considered as gold cybersecurity certification. And I do hold many vendor-based certification. And on top of that, I'm currently pursuing my post graduation with BITS Pilani. So I hope that many of you are already aware that we'll be talking about cyber security demo today, right? So, but before proceeding further, let's keep our agenda on top. So we'll be trying to understand what actually cyber security is. And since today I could able to see that many of you are from different sectors, so I don't want to directly get into the core concepts so that you may feel overwhelmed. So we'll try to understand what actually cybersecurity is, so that and on top of that, how the normal attacks used to happen, and how the enterprise used to tackle these attacks by diversifying into different domains. So thereby, so once you are aware that what actually the enterprises are tackling, you know, um, these type of attacks, you can pursue a career based upon the opportunities available in this cybersecurity field. And on top of that, I'll be helping you with a couple of sources that could be really useful for you. And we'll be discussing about on the curriculum that this particular course will be based upon. So before we jump in, I would like to, quickly show up something for you, which is really exciting from a personality whom we admire in our day-to-day life. Let's hear back from him directly. So can someone please tell me, what kind of attack is this, or what kind of technique has been used here? We impersonated a famous personality, and we did a welcome video for all you folks, isn't it? So okay, so before I deep dive, I request everybody to be interactive. So don't think that I'm a typical lecturer. I'm here, for uplifting your career. So we are all here, to upskill ourselves. That's the reason we are all here, so that we can pursue opportunities in the industry. So try to be as interactive as we can. I'm not sure whether you may proceed further or not, but just keep this conversation very casual. Okay. So I encourage someone to answer this. So what kind of technique that they used to make this video? Any guesses? So at least can someone confirm me if they could able to hear the video, at least the audio in that video?
Actually, the audio was not available.
Oh, okay. Might be due to the restrictions with the Zoom, but you have seen this, right? So how you felt? What kind of technique this could have been? as per your
Uh, Someone just created means like the some of the famous person
mm,
use their photos and make their some other videos by dubbing the audio like means, changing the audio as per their need for
okay.
their welcome purpose something. So
Excellent, Kunal.
without yeah, so without informing that person or getting their permission to using their name or their photos, they are misusing for their personal use or their business use.
Absolutely, you're absolutely right. And could you please name this particular technique that they have used here?
Probably nowadays we are using AI tool for such thing.
Hmm. Okay, great participation, Kunal. Yes. So this is a purely a deep fake technique. So they actually used a technique called as deep fake. So it's like all you need a image or video. Assume that you might be posting your personal videos or personal images in social media accounts. So this is how it can be misused. Okay, and this is what we are going to learn in this particular cybersecurity course, where we'll be analyzing couple of attacks. Okay, and then we'll try to understand how enterprises used to tackle this and how can we leverage our skills in order to get an opportunity in cybersecurity. Okay, so this is called as a deepfake technique. Now, so I know that many of you could have been preparing for this particular demo session. So does anyone here get a chance to hear about the word cybersecurity earlier? Cybersecurity, the word cybersecurity. Have you heard about this? We have a student from cybersecurity, right? Anusha. So, so what do you mean by cybersecurity? Anyone? I request anyone, to give a try.
There are all types of attack.
Okay. Okay. Great. Akash. Okay. Any others?
Uh,
That was great, Akash. So,
there are all types of
cybersecurity. Go ahead. Go
all
ahead.
types of attack secure the data, secure the data,
Mhm.
and mm,
That's a nice try, Akash. Okay. So cybersecurity is protecting your assets, protecting your data. Okay. Protecting, whatever that is actually lying over the internet. Okay. So I'm just keeping it in very layman terms, very simple terms. I don't want to give the textbook definition at the right day one so that, this is no way to by heart or something, but for clear understanding. Okay, so cyber security is the word that's been used if a professional tried to protect an asset that is being connected to internet or is being hosted in internet. Okay, that particular asset might be your computer. Okay, it might be any kind of data resource where your data is lying. The data is nothing but your social media account information, payment card industry information, anything. Okay, so if you take certain security controls to protect something over the internet, it's called as cyber security. Okay, so purely that is lying over the internet. Now let's take an example. So how many of you have social media accounts? Facebook, Instagram? Many of us, right? At least just show a thumbs up, or just you could able to have something, right? There is an option called as a reaction. You could able to use the thumbs up. Okay, so mm. So many of us could have had this social media accounts, isn't it? So now assume that what Facebook does, what Instagram does, they take certain mechanisms or certain security controls to protect your information. So that is called as cyber security measure. Okay, Now, so did you ever get a chance to hear about the word called as information security? Anyone? So we have a desktop engineer here, right? So did you get a chance to hear about the word information security? Anyone would like to try? Anyone had the word about information security? Akash, Kunal, Rakesh, Anusha, Purnam. Anyone would like to give it a try? What actually information security is?
It is uh, with the protection of data from any viruses.
Okay. Okay. Fine. Okay. You are 20% right, but information security predominantly focuses upon protecting the company's information. Okay. So now assume that if you work for a company, all the company's data will be lying in their own servers, and these servers are not available from internet, right? So many of the working professionals could have experienced this. Unless you log in into the computer of the respective organization, or you connect your computer to the network, okay, of that particular organization, you cannot access certain kind of servers. Okay. Now, if you are protecting something which is inside the network of a company, it's called as information security. Okay. So here the same thing, you will be protecting the assets, you will be protecting the data, you will be protecting the payment card details, personal information, also might be the health information. Okay. So all the critical data, that is called as information security. Okay. So just keeping it very simple, cyber security is something, that is the reason you have something called as cloud here. Okay. The cloud really deposits a internet. Okay. So now if you could able to see, assume that many of you could have logged in into your internet banking. So your ICICI, your HDFC, etc., all these are being hosted in the internet. You are just opening your browser, you are just typing ICICI net banking or HDFC or etc. You are just trying to log in into your website, and you're trying to do some transactions. Okay. So since these websites or these applications, okay, that are being hosted on internet, okay, if you try to secure something over the internet, then it is called as cyber security. Okay. Information security is something where you are going to protect the company's information inside the company's network. You're clear, right? Just a thumbs up will help me so that I can proceed further for the next slide. Everybody good, or any
Sir,
doubts?
provide other company share.
Sorry, provide
Other company share information.
information security is, assume Akash, so are you a working professional, or you're a student?
No, working.
Working professional. So you work for a company, right? Assume that your email ID, your day-to-day data, everything will be saved in the company's servers. Okay.
Yes.
If I'm taking certain measures to protect that particular server, then it is called as information security. So precisely you are working for a company's servers to get protected. You got it right? So if you work precisely only for a particular company to get protected, then it is called as information security. You're taking the measures to protect the company's resources or assets. You got it?
Okay.
You understood it?
Yes.
Thank you so much. So now, did you ever get a chance to hear about these three terms called as threat, vulnerability, risk? Anyone? Threat, vulnerability. See, just think like I'm someone like your neighborhood. I'm also a working professional like you. Just extending my capabilities for people like you. So don't hesitate. Okay. So be free, be open. That's how, if I'll make sure that if I'm going in a very faster manner or very slow, so that I can adjust myself, right? So anyone, so did you ever, these are all the common words, right? Threat, vulnerability, risk. So anyone heard about this? Threat. Okay. Maybe if you're hesitant, just look into this image. Okay. So now anyone would like to give a try? What is threat? What is vulnerability? What is risk? So if you understand the image, it would be really easy for you. Go ahead. Go ahead, Rakash.
Diamond, cash.
Sir,
Okay, so
vulnerability means weakness. Weakness in
absolutely.
any.
Great, Anusha. Threat, what is the threat?
That person who is coming to steal that diamond वगैरह.
Okay, what about the risk? Risk is nothing but the losing the precious jewels. Okay, you are absolutely excellent, Anusha. Keep up the good job. And yes, I'm reiterating again. So threat, vulnerability, and risk, as the participants said, vulnerability is nothing but the weakness. So now here, if you can look into this particular image, the weakness is the broken window, right? Assume that in our house or in any place, if there is a vulnerability, then the threat is nothing but the thief here. Okay, so thief, he is trying to make use of the broken window. Okay, and he is trying to steal all the jewels here. Okay, so the jewels are at a risk of losing. Okay, so jewels are the risk. I hope you understood, right? So anyone have any question in this? Because this is the a very basic concept that if you don't understand, anything in cybersecurity would be Greek and Latin for you. Anusha, are you good? What about others? Anyone had doubt?
Yes, sir.
Purnam,
Yes, sir. What is risk? How will you define risk?
risk of losing anything. Risk here, the jewels are at risk.
How,
So if you lose something, they're at risk.
how we can calculate mathematically the risk?
We'll talk about that. So since we will talk about that, that is the reason we mentioned is threat plus vulnerability. So assume that whatever the threat does plus the weakness, it comprises of the risk. So we'll talk about that because this is the initial session that we'll be just exploring the basic terms, but deeping dive maybe happened in the upcoming classes. That was a great question, Poonam, by the way. Okay. So can I go ahead for the next slide? Thank you so much. So Poonam, answering to your question, there is something called as quantitative analysis and also quantitative and qualitative analysis. When there is a concept called as a risk assessment, there is something called as a big domain called as a risk management framework. Okay, so where you will be analyzing the risk upon some metrics, be it qualitative or quantitative. There is a way of doing that, calculating that. By the way, that's a great question. Okay, so now, so have you ever thought of a robbery? Anyone? So that, did anyone at least get a chance to hear about the you know things that used to happen over internet? Did you ever get a chance to hear what actually the procedure that the thieves used to follow? Anyone would like to try? So have you ever thought of a robbery, how it actually happens? Just in your not in technical terms, just go ahead with your normal way of thinking.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, go ahead. So have you ever given a thought how a robbery does? So if you try to, give a thought, then, the reason why we were talking about this is how a typical hacker does. This is how a typical attacker does. Okay. So now let's explore this. So now a robbery cannot be done overnight, right? So how many of you agree with me? A robbery
Yes, sir.
cannot be done overnight, right? So they need a careful study. Okay, they need to analyze what actually protecting the respective location, what kind of weapons that they actually need, right? And they may need to get on to the right time, in order to deliver their motto. And once they reach there, they should exploit the vulnerability. So be it the broken window, or assume that if they are using smart locks, any kind of vulnerability it might be based upon the situation, they need to exploit it. And in the installation phase, assume that they could have successfully barged in. They might be trying to deactivate the alarms or CCTV cameras by using some specialized equipment. So there is a concept called as air gapped attack, where you can use a specialized mechanisms, okay, to stop working of certain security devices, especially like CCTV devices, or even when you're transferring the information by using your USB, data can be theft. Okay, now assume that when the robber successfully barges into the house, what he does, he moves laterally from one room to another room. He tried to establish a connection with the boss. He'll tell him, okay, boss. So upon the instructions of the boss, who's operating from a remote location, so they will be guiding him, go to this particular room or go to that particular room if this particular robbery been done by one or more person. And now, upon doing all the activity, what they'll do, they'll try to erase the data. Now assume that you could have seen this in movies, right? So after successfully doing a murder or killing someone, they might try to remove the evidences. This is called as data exfiltration. So we'll be talking about this. Okay. So but this is how it actually happens, right? The robber carefully plans, they get proper weapons, be knives or certain, based upon the capacity of the victim. Okay, they might be coming up with some artillery or certain kind of guns, etc., etc. So this is how a robbery happens, isn't it? So how many of you agree with me? I hope that you understood this, right? This particular concept. See, I'm someone who always believes in interacting with people so that we'll understand better. And the reason why I'm taking all these examples to make you little bit much more involved into this particular concept, so that you won't get bored. And now, so in the same manner, what happens whenever a attacker, so in cybersecurity you can use the word called as attacker, hacker, black hat, or adversary. And on top of that, if any company or if any country is sponsoring the attack, then he will be called as a state sponsored attacker. Okay. Now assume that if a attacker is trying to exploit certain kind of weakness in your application, or might be in your Windows system or any kind of operating system or any kind of infrastructure that you use, right? So losing of information, the valuable information is at risk. And how does the attacker does this? Okay, and this has been carefully been studied by one of the cybersecurity professional called as Lockerheed Martin, and by analyzing the way that the hackers used to, do the attack, he drafted a framework called as cyber kill chain. Okay, this cyber kill chain has been adapted by US military framework. So this is the pattern that the US military actually does when they actually used to attack a target. Okay, now, so in the reconnaissance phase, especially when you are backtracking the attacker. So now assume that you are a defense person, or assume that you are working as a cybersecurity professional and you are reverse engineering or you are backtracking the attack, right? So these are all the phases that you are going to use, okay, so that you can properly understand how the attacker actually trying to attack a particular individual or respective organization. Okay, so in the reconnaissance phase, so he might be looking at your social media post carefully. Now assume that how many of you use OLX, or how many of you use no broker or certain kind of rental or property purchasing applications. Does anybody used it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now assume that when you actually post your requirement, or assume that you could have posted some kind of post publicly, might be in LinkedIn, might be in your social media accounts like Instagram or Facebook. So publicly, right? Especially publicly, but there are times that even the attack can also be done by your networking friends. Okay, in the reconnaissance phase, the attackers, they will carefully watch your activity. Assume that you posted something for a rented house, so someone might be calling you and they'll be trying to get some more information. And in the weaponization, right? So what they'll do, assume that they will be using certain kind of tools. Okay, they'll try to collect the digital information. Assume that you are using Windows 11, or you might be using Android phone. So what they'll do, they'll analyze, and for every operating system, there might be certain vulnerabilities. So based upon the operating system that you are using, based upon the operating system that they're actually using, what they'll do, someone, my voice is echoing, Akash. Can you please mute yourself? You okay? So now they'll try to gather the operating system that you are actually using. They will shape up a weapon. Okay, assume that you might be receiving. So how many of you receive certain links in WhatsApp, or in WhatsApp groups, or to your text messages saying that you won some lottery, or you got a parcel, you got some kind of this is some kind of a house been rented out. Everybody used to receive this, right? Can someone confirm? Just a
Yes, yes, sir.
reaction would be yes, we all receive that, right? So now they will try to send this. So this is in the delivery phase. So they will be using certain kind of techniques, so which we are going to analyze in the upcoming slides. Okay, they might be wishing, they'll do the wishing technique, they might do phishing technique, they may do the smishing technique. So smishing is nothing but sending you an SMS asking you to click on that. Phishing is sending emails or certain kind of APKs in WhatsApp groups, or wishing is something they will be calling you directly, impersonating as they might be calling from kind of orphanage, asking you, to donate by clicking on a respective link. Or someone could have, many of you could have heard about this, right? Even the government of India has kept a caller tune saying that, jago grahak jaho, you will get calls like this, someone impersonating like a CBI, CID, or police calling you, through your WhatsApp video, trying to, show some kind of adult content, and making that you're actually weaving into that, right? So they might be blackmailing you. So this all comes under the delivery phase. Now assume that by mistakenly you have clicked on the link that they have actually sent you. Might be, you could have received some kind of .apk files in Telegram or in WhatsApp, right? So unknowingly, when you install that particular application, or assume that you clicked on that particular URL. So what happens? The malicious link will exploit your device. That might be your Android application, that might be your Windows operating system, anything that you are actually using. So what it will do? So, it looks for the weakness. It looks for the vulnerabilities that actually your device is running with. So upon gathering the vulnerabilities, they shape up some kind of malware. Okay, they will install that malware. Okay, so assume that someone would like to steal money from you. What they'll do, they put some kind of keylogger. So keylogger, the types of malware that we are going to, look after in the upcoming slides, but they'll put some kind of malware. Okay, so be it be keylogger, virus, worm, ransomware activity, crypto mining, etc., etc. Okay, so soon assume that they connected your, they installed the malware successfully in your device. Then they can able to track all your username, password, etc., etc. And also by doing that, they will be connecting your device to their command and control directly. So now assume that recently when India, China had a cyber warfare. So China, what they actually did, instead of attacking the Indian government websites directly, they attacked someone in Bangalore by using that particular device. Okay, they attacked some other users. Okay, and then by using all these users, they have actually attacked the Indian government web servers. Okay, so now even if you trace back, the victims would be the Indian citizens, right? So this is how the command and control does. Actions and objectives. Assume that the objective might be different. For example, so recently we had warfare been done by our neighboring country, right? So their objective would be different. They would like to bring down the infrastructure of Indian government, or they would like to demolish the infrastructure of Indian citizens, right? They use certain tactics on that. Okay, and like the way where a robber used to remove all his evidence in the when after doing the data exfiltration, they will try to wipe out all the evidences. So hope everyone understood this, right? Any doubts? I'll be taking a pause for a moment. I'll really encourage people to ask me questions, so that this is a basic concept. Unless you understand this, when you're actually doing the upcoming sessions, you could not able to grab it further. So any questions? Anusha, Poonam, who are very active today, appreciate if you have any questions. Or shall we proceed further? Shall we proceed further? Okay, I take your silence as yes, and I'm proceeding further. Thank you so much. So now, just a quick recap. Okay, so let's check if people are active on the bridge today or not. So we have discussed about cyber kill chain, right? So let's take a small quiz. So on which stage of cyber kill chain involves an attacker sending a malicious email attachment to the victim? Anyone would like to answer this?
B.
Great. I'm sorry, who answered this? Purnam, right?
Yeah.
Great, Purnam. Okay, any others would like to try this? That's a great response, Purnam. That's the right answer. And does anyone would like to try the next question? In which stage of cyber kill chain does the attacker attempt to use a software vulnerability to gain initial access? Initial access? Anyone?
Exploitation.
Great, Muhammad. You're right. Exploitation. So with this, I could able to sense that many of you are absolutely, extravagant and you are carefully listening to what I'm trying to explain today. I really appreciate you all. Now, let's pitch in. So many of you could have heard about this, right? Phishing. So phishing is impersonating like someone, but their internal, greed would be different. So, you could have received an email saying that, so you won some kind of lottery or you won certain kind of money or Bitcoin, etc., right? So these are all the proper phishing techniques. And many of us could have, you know, received phone calls from the attacker saying that, sir, you received a lottery, or we are calling from the customs, you received a parcel which is being named on you, and it does have the, um, banned substances, etc., isn't it? So if someone does this, then they probably might be doing a wishing attack on you. Okay. So another example. So assume that if someone could have sent you an email with some kind of URL. So does anyone would like to, carefully look into the particular example and, tell me what actually wrong in this particular URL? We have a
OTP.
cybersecurity students here, right?
They're asking to OTP.
No, absolutely not. They're not asking OTP.
The website is not genuine.
You're absolutely right, Poonam. If you could see, the email actually looks as similar as it's been sent by SBI. Okay, they were actually telling you that there is a problem in your account, and
India.
this um, there is an urgent security alert that you need to click on something. Okay, so whenever in an attacker, so you people tell me, so any human being, either someone, what they'll do, they will hurry you up, they will ask you to do things immediately. Okay, if not, they will follow another pattern called as emotional weakness. Okay, so now here they're using the hurriness technique. Okay, they were trying to impersonate as they were actually being from SBI, and they were actually asking the user to click on the URL. But if you can carefully look into the URL, you could able to see that the SBI, online SBI, right? That particular URL has been looking similar as the normal SBI's website, but it is actually a malicious link. So the spelling of SBIIE is the fault here. This is how you can able to identify. Okay, so there are certain tools, they use certain kind of they can clone the exact email template that SBI actually used to send. Okay, there are free tools available. They can clone you. Okay, they'll send emails like this. So once you click on that particular URL, you need to backtrack again. Okay, you remember the cyber kill chain that we discussed? So in the exploitation part, you click on a URL, then immediately some kind of a malicious exe used to get downloaded to your computer, or some kind of APK will get downloaded to your mobile phone. Then immediately that particular APK will be installed. Okay, by you could have given some administrative rights, and once that get installed, that's it. Boom, your money is gone. You're been successfully hacked. Okay, and then so whenever you receive emails like this, so one thing, you make sure that the spelling of the URL is correct or not. And then another thing is carefully looking at the technical details.
I say. Hello.
Yes, sir.
एक second, 1 second. Take a confirmation.
Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, he's joining now. He's joining now. Some Wi-Fi has disconnected. He's joining. Wait a second.
Yeah, done.
Yeah.
Hello. Hope you could able to hear me, right? more there? Confirming. So you could able. Can someone please confirm? Just a thumbs up.
Yes. Yes, yes,
Okay.
sir.
Thank you so much. I'm sorry that there is an network disconnection here. So now what happened here? If you could carefully look after the symbol. So just click on the lock symbol, that is HTTPS, and if you could able to see some kind of certificate, by clicking on the certificate, you could able to see a digital certificate. That's some kind of third party being
Sorry, sorry,
accrediting the respective
sir.
website that what
Hello, Sai.
you
Sorry, Sai. Your voice is hello.
say.
Hello, Sai. We can't hear you, Sai, voice clearly. Some disturbance is going.
Yes.
Yeah, just right now, okay.
Uh, yes. Yes, sir.
Again, it's disturbance is going on.
Is it or not?
No, your audio was not clearly coming out.
Oh, really? Okay. 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 Is it fine now? Is it
Now
fine?
fine. Yes, yes, now fine.
Is it fine now?
Yes, yes, I go ahead.
Oh, okay. Just a minute. Now it's fine. You're able to hear me properly now. So now what happens, right? You could have seen something called as HTTPS. So once you on the respective lock symbol, you can able to find something called as digital certificate that some kind of third party could have, verified this particular website or this particular vendor, that they are fully compliant with whatever the data that you are going to store on their servers. Okay. Now, how many of you noticed this? So you could have received some kind of URL that may look similar to, a bank, but before you click on that, once you just hover your, mouse pointer on the respective URL, you could able to see a different URL. So does anyone experience this? Just a quick thumbs up. Quick thumbs up. Okay, great. So now this is called as URL spoofing. Okay. And how many of you, download applications other than from Play Store? Tell me. For example, recently Dream 11 has been banned, right? So all of them won't actually on.
Sai, again, your voice is disturbing.
But what we do, we were being instructed to go to their respective website, download the APK file directly. Oh, okay. Just a minute, sorry. Still issues.
Oh, not clear, not clear. Sir.
Okay. Now, you could have noticed this, right? Like you could have installed some kind of application from, different websites that might be sniffing from you. So that is the reason Google Play Store could have banned them. They might be impersonating as a, application that is intended for some kind of cricket scores. But what they'll do, they might be doing some kind of nefarious activity on your device. They might be stealing your device data. They might be using your device for some other illegal activities, right? So we are going to explore all this. And how many of you could have, noticed this? too many pop-ups on your device. Someone could have sent an email on your behalf. It might be in social media, right? So you could have seen some actors or celebrities post saying that their account has been hacked. Okay, so that's one thing. So some kind of malicious malware could have installed in their device, and this could have did this particular activity. And on top of that, you might have noticed this, your device storage space will get exhausted. And on top of that, there is something called as Windows Defender if you're using Windows operating system. And there is also something called as Windows Firewall. So these kind of security mechanisms will get disabled in your device. And on top of that, you could have noticed that your device might be heating very quickly. That charge will get discharged sometimes within just a half an hour or 45 minutes. All right. And on top of that, you might be redirecting to many advertisements. So soon after you open your browser, you may not have clicked on a respective ad, but still your device will get redirected. So how many of you experienced this? Any thumbs up? Okay, so look, so you people have experienced this, right? So that's how it actually happens. So on top of your data will get exhausted. So you could have for of a sudden you receive some kind of from your mobile operator saying that your data has exhausted already, so that your device could have been hacked. And this is what we are going to do. So we are going to safeguard the companies. We protect their computers. And I need everyone's kind attention on this. So can you please tell me what this actually mean? So how does this resemble like?
Virus.
Absolutely. Great answer, Mohammed. So the main intention of a virus is to destroy your computer. Okay. So now we discussed, right? Our neighboring country started, cyber attacks on us. Their main motto during a war would be destroying your computer, destroying the government servers. Okay. So what about the next one? So how does that look like? Anyone? Anyone would like to? So just tell me, how does that look like? Any luck? Or we have a desktop engineer here, right? So how does this look like? There is a hint already. Anyone? So we have a worm. Great, Muhammad. Great answer. So worm. So worm is a type of malware where you are going to get attacked, and once you get attacked, your data will be compromised, and the attacker will try to move from one device to another device. Their main intention is to traverse from one device to another device very quickly. So that's how the worm malware do. And you have already heard about the ads, right? So once you get compromised, many of the ads you can able to see on your computer screen, they might be luring some traffic to the respective website so that they get some hits and they get paid. And many of you could have read this in your 10th class, right? So what is this? Trojan horse. So might be you could have you could have seen this in popular web series too, right? So you might have downloaded a camera application or some kind of torchlight, but inside that particular torchlight application, there might be some kind of malware. Okay, it might be impersonating as a torchlight application or some kind of photo editing application, right? Or gallery application, but it is actually stealing your data. And then just looking into this image, what you can able to see? Sense? What kind of malware is this? Muhammad, Anusha, Purnam. Appreciate if anyone take this question. Keylogger. Okay, so once this malware keylogger. Okay, so once this particular malware hits your computer, so they will be capturing all the strokes that you are entering. Your user ID, your password immediately will get transferred. So if you don't configure multi-factor authentication or OTP, then that's it. It's gone. So what about this lock symbol kind of malware called as? So people who are already working, right? They might have heard about this. I didn't remember the desktop engineer here name, but might be people in IT. Ransomware. Okay, so this particular malware, what they'll do, no civil engineer, it is ransomware. Okay, what they'll do, they will attack computer, they will put a lock for all your personal data. So before putting a lock to your personal data, they will transfer all the files, data, your history, everything to their command control servers, and they'll put a lock. And if this could have happened to your company's servers, and some kind of confidential information has been locked, okay, now they'll demand ransom. They take wallpaper saying that okay, your data has been compromised, okay, and your data, your system has been infected with the ransomware, and unless you pay ransom as a Bitcoin to the respective wallet, not going to unlock your device, your data. Okay, they put some kind of public address of the wallet. They will ask you to make payments, and even if you make payments, you cannot trace back them. Okay, so it's very difficult for the law enforcement to trace them back. So this one is the zombie. So I told this earlier, right? Like instead of attacking the government server directly, what they'll do, they attack you. They'll compromise your mobiles, use your mobiles to attack someone, so that they get evaded from the punishment. And then any stock brokers or stock enthusiast here, or any Bitcoin enthusiast here? Did you ever get a chance to hear about the malware? So there is something called as cryptojacking. Okay. So what cryptojacking does? So in the other malware, right? Like they need to put so much of effort. So people who understood the cyber kill chain could have already censored this. So the hacker, okay, he need to put lot of effort. He need to put lot of investigation. He need so much of technical skills to attack you. He need to send some kind of URL. Even if he send the URL, there is no guarantee that you may click on the link or not, right? So that's the reason what they'll do. They somehow hack your computer. Instead of asking you to pay ransom, what they'll do, they will do the crypto mining by using your mobile device or by using your computer. They will mine the Bitcoin. Okay, so they get the hash from your devices. So how many of you felt that your system is getting heated up very quickly, or your mobile phone is getting, heated up like an iron box, right? So what they'll do, they'll use your mobile, power or your data to mine certain kind of Bitcoin, and they will get a hash. So by redeeming this particular hash, in a pool, they will get a Bitcoin. Now, can someone tell me how much one Bitcoin costs today? Anyone? I know that it's in evening, soon after your work. You might have felt a little bit fatigue, but let's keep this conversation interactive. So tell me, any luck? How much? Maybe you can also Google and post it in the chat. Say
95 lakh.
9. Yes, absolutely. Right. So now, so that's how they do. Now, you understood how the attackers used to attack us, right? The way, the pattern they do, and the type of malware that they use, etc., right? So does anyone given a thought where they actually, operate, right? So there are different kind of hacking groups all over the world, and these are all the some popular hacking groups. Okay, so a hacking group called as Cholima, based out of North Korea, is one of the most notorious hacking groups that the cybersecurity has ever experienced. They were very, very sophisticated. Even um, the tech giants, even they cannot match with that. That kind of sophistication they have. And recently, during the Russia and Ukraine war, a new hacking group called as Saiga from Kazakhstan has been, actively been noticed. And, from our neighboring country, we have a hacking group. And even from India, right? So we have a hacking group. And these are all the popular hacking groups. So just for people like, there's a guy with the name Septar, right? So, try to Google and look after all these hacking group names. It would be really interesting. Let's take a quick quiz. So, what is the hacking group name in India? Anyone would like to try?
Tiger.
Who's that? Muhammad? Who answered this?
Tiger.
Okay, Muhammad. Great answer, Muhammad. You're right. And might be I'm asking this question to Sivaranjani. So can you please tell me that particular malware name with the lock?
Ransomware.
Great. Thank you so much. So now you have experienced. I'm not sure if I'm moving at a slow pace, but based upon your interaction, I'm actually heading further. So now, have you really given a thought how beautifully the hackers used to attack us, right? So in the same way, see, instead of attacking someone like us, individual persons who doesn't cost much for the attackers, it would be really profitable for the hackers if they will attack a company or an enterprise. Okay, so now if these cyber attackers trying to attack a company, then there must be some kind of strategy for them, right? Okay, so how many of you like KL Rahul? So how good is his defense? right? So it's very beautiful. In the same way, the enterprise defense strategy used to be very beautiful. Okay, and the strategy has spread across different domains. Okay, the cybersecurity broadly been diversified into 8 domains. Mr. Purnam is asking a question about how you are going to quantify mathematically, about the risk, right? That was a great question. So, there is a domain called as security and risk management, and then asset security. So security architect and engineering. So I personally work upon asset security and security architecture and engineering. So I'm into developing cybersecurity tools for my organization, and communication and network security, like precisely talking about firewalls, switches, routers, taking security controls to prevent your networks being secure. And then identity and access management. So identity thefts will be happening, right, by using phishing or wishing. So there is a separate domain to protect that too. So security assessment and testing. So we'll be digging deep about all this in the upcoming slides. So security operations. So I personally worked in security architecture and engineering, asset security, security operations, and also in security assessment. And by the way, I forgot to inform, I have 12 plus years of experience in cybersecurity. So, as I said you earlier, the cybersecurity domains are 8 domains, but it's been broadly been the verticals are been compared across offense and defense. So if I say offense, okay, so it's like a black hat. So they have all the rights. They can penetrate into any kind of company's infrastructure. Okay, they can find the vulnerabilities, they can try to exploit that particular vulnerability. That's how when offensive security engineer does. When it comes to defense, so purely less, right? So the police is not supposed to take any action from his end. So he's supposed to uphold the constitution, right? So assume if some police caught someone being, murdered, some thief has caught red-handedly, so he cannot take an action on him directly. Instead, he need to collect all the artifacts. He need to submit those artifacts along with the intruder or with the respective robber in the court of law, so that the court of law will punish him. So that's how a defense person or a police does, right? In the same manner, that's how the security engineers in defense does. Okay, so they will do the investigation, they do forensics, they cannot take any action on the hackers directly. Instead, what they'll do, they collect all the artifacts and they will produce in jurisdiction. Okay, and as I said, you offense. So offense, security engineers in offense will be called as a black hat, and security engineers in defense will be called as a white hat. Okay, and coming to each and every domain. So with respect to the time, since we already crossed 8:30, so I'll just walk away a little bit fast. What I did, I have mentioned everything in a QR code. So might be you get a photo of this particular picture. Okay, you can go to this particular URL, and what I did, so you could able to see all the you could able to see the career path, right? So assume that the GRC analyst. So Purnam asked a question about the quantifying the uh, risk, right? So there is a separate team called as governance and risk and compliance. So their primary job would be evaluating the risk. Okay, so you can able to find some jobs in GRC. And with respect to asset security, DLP and SIM firewalls, etc., etc. These are the technologies that they actually use. and these are all the profiles or the name of the job. Okay, so I'll just quickly move for the next slide. So no, of this. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll also put this link in the chart. So soon after I complete this, I'll also put this in the chart so that you can able to make use of it. And now, in this particular course, what you're going to learn. So as I said you earlier, so I'll be patiently, since you comprises from different work streams, different locations, right? And kind of competency. Okay, some other might be medium, some other person might be having a very good competence. Okay? So what we'll do, we'll try to explore the cybersecurity basics for the first week. After understanding the cybersecurity basics, it is imperative to have basic knowledge about the networking and network security. Okay, and then we will talk about a technology called as SIM. So the as I said you earlier. Okay, I quickly talk about this. Okay, security operations. So security operations is a team. So assume that you might have seen in the movies, right? Like there might be a set of people sitting analyzing all that company. What they'll do, they will analyze all the alerts the employee do or the attacks that they actually get. They analyze all the attacks and they do the forensics. Okay, so they do this by using a tool called as SIM, and also uh, a tool called as EDR, so endpoint detection and response. And also there's something called as endpoint security. That is the typical antivirus that we use. And on top of that, we will be exploring a couple of tools for network traffic, analysis, how attackers used to do this, and how we are going to study that. Okay, so we will be so everything the first 2 weeks should be we will be trying to understand the cybersecurity basics. From the third week, what we'll do, we'll be having a real time experience. So you can I'll also encourage you to create accounts on your behalf if you have the professional email IDs available. So we will be working upon SIM directly, and then we'll try to explore a tool called as Wazoo. This is purely a real-time tool. We'll initially try to understand what SIM is, and then the basics of Wazoo, and then we'll go ahead on the fourth week to understand how malwares used to infect a computer and how the antivirus used to block them, and how we are going to analyze this from the enterprise perspective. And on the week 5, I'll be giving you certain task to do some attack and analyze by your own, so that your skill will get enhanced, right? So very simple. This is purely for some kind of student. This is purely a beginner course. So where you'll be learning the cybersecurity basics, you'll be learning the network basics, and there are 3 real-time tools that you're going to work. Okay, so by working upon these tools, what we'll do, I haven't captured in the slide, but there is a exam, or there is an international exam called as CC, certified in cybersecurity by ISC Square. So we will be helping you with a voucher, so that after finishing this course, you can go ahead and you can take up that exam. So that particular exam will cost you around 15,000, so which is purely free for you. So you can go and you can take up that exam. So once you pass that exam, all you need to do, you need to pay some kind of maintenance fee, not for us, for the respective international organization, so that you will get a certificate saying that you have been accredited with a certificate. And then, so how many of you heard about CERT-in? Have you ever heard about this? Computer response here are the one who tracks all
sorry,
the
sorry, we are not getting your voice clearly, sir.
all the government websites, etc., and they'll take necessary. Yes. What about now?
We are not
What about
getting.
now? Is it good? Is it good?
Yes. No good.
Okay. Now it's fine, right? Sorry, my Wi-Fi got disconnected and I connected on my hotspot. Okay. So CERT-in, so Computer Emergency Response Team, it's purely a government affiliated organization who works directly, upon the government instructions. Okay, they will be safeguarding us. And due to the interest of time, right? Like there are a couple of best practices that they have actually suggested, like using software, making yourself your softwares up to date, avoiding clicking on suspicious emails, and enabling multi-factor authentication, and not using public Wi-Fi networks, or doing phone pay transactions or any kind of right? So these are all the best practices. And assume if you're feeling that we have learnt about all these malware, right? Assume that if you're thinking that you might have compromised, then these are all the best tools at this point of time that you can able to explore. So I'll keep a QR code here. You can take a picture of this. Also, you get all these slides from UpShik Academy, so that you can able to make use of these tools. So these are all been suggested by Government of India in the CERT-in website portal. And by the way, I'm part of this particular company called as K7, so which is an Indian antivirus company. So I was part of that particular company for almost 4 years. I was actually doing the malware analysis for them. And I hope that many of you could have already sensed how rapidly AI is growing in every field. Cybersecurity is not an exception for this. So, there's a rapid usage of artificial intelligence in cybersecurity too. The rise of artificial intelligence drastically, uh, given rise to many threats. And on top of that, we have the quantum computers coming up. So, with the help of artificial intelligence and quantum computers, the adversaries or the hackers, they might be attacking us with some kind of advanced threats you cannot even imagine, right? Like assume you could have some kind of social media accounts. Everything will be broken easily by using these quantum computers. So that's it from my end. So since with the interest of time, I have hurried a bit. If there are any questions, I'll be happy to answer them. That's it from my end, Motish. Thank you.
Yeah, guys, if you have any
You can
questions,
stop recording.
Yeah. Sure.